Откуда ты? Национальность?
Oh,
Блядь, говори быстрее, блядь.
yeah, it's Australia. I'm Australian.
Ну, дальше, блядь. Кто ты, блядь?
Я не разумею.
Name.
Oscar. Меня зовут Oscar.
Полностью. Полностью. Оскар, дальше, блядь.
Oscar Jenkins. 32 years old. 32 років. Live in Australia.
Australia is making significant diplomatic efforts to secure a positive outcome for Oscar Jenkins, a Melbourne man captured by Russian forces while fighting in Ukraine. Jenkins, 32, has become the first known Australian to be detained in the conflict. Disturbing footage showing Jenkins with his hands tied and being slapped across the face has circulated widely on Telegram, sparking outrage. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese confirmed that the Russian ambassador to Australia had been summoned to the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, DFAT, in Canberra to address the situation. Simultaneously, Australia's embassy in Moscow is actively pursuing Jenkins' safety and fair treatment. We make representations appropriately through the embassy, and we always look after Australians, Albanese stated, while reiterating warnings against travelling to conflict zones. Jenkins, who has a background in biology and worked as a lecturer at Tianjin College in China, joined the Ukrainian forces to aid their fight against Russian aggression. In footage released by his captors, Jenkins revealed his nationality and explained his motivations, though his responses appeared coerced under duress. Experts, including Donald Rothwell from the Australian National University, emphasized that Russia is bound by the Geneva Conventions, which prohibit the mistreatment or public humiliation of prisoners of war. Australia's immediate priority is Jenkins' welfare, with government officials urging Russia to adhere to international humanitarian laws. Such laws safeguard the rights of combatants captured during conflicts and emphasize humane treatment. Jenkins' story has shocked many who knew him. Former schoolmates described him as a quirky but great guy who embraced veganism and sustainability after leaving Australia. His decision to fight in Ukraine reflects a departure from his earlier life, yet underscores his commitment to a cause he deeply believed in. This tragic incident serves as a stark reminder of the dangers Australians face when engaging in foreign conflicts. Albanese emphasized the importance of heeding government travel warnings, noting the risks associated with venturing into war zones. At least 8 Australians have lost their lives since Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022, with many others still actively fighting, often as part of the Foreign Legion. The Australian government continues its diplomatic push to ensure Jenkins' safe return while reminding its citizens of the perils of involvement in overseas conflicts. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has warned that the Reserve Bank of Australia, RBA, may face pressure to raise interest rates in 2025 as inflation risks linger. The RBA has been steadfast in its efforts to bring inflation back to the target range of 2 to 3%, but progress has been slower than expected. According to the IMF, inflation is not expected to stabilize within the target range until the end of 2025, raising concerns about potential setbacks. The IMF highlighted challenges posed by Australia's fiscal policy, which it claims is counteracting the RBA's restrictive monetary measures. With a looming general election, concerns about increased government spending could exacerbate inflationary pressures. Shane Oliver, chief economist at AMP, noted that while the government's latest budget update mitigates immediate risks, election promises could lead to future fiscal policy shifts that may compel the RBA to tighten monetary policy further. Australia's labour market adds another layer of complexity to the economic landscape. Despite rising unemployment, the labour market remains resilient, with the unemployment rate dropping to 3.9% in November. This tight job market, coupled with robust public and private demand, creates potential risks for inflation if aggregate demand outpaces supply. Holiday spending is expected to surge, adding another dynamic to the economic equation. Australians are forecasted to spend $1.3 billion during Boxing Day sales, with a total of $3.7 billion projected over the post-Christmas week, an increase of 2.7% compared to last year. While this spending boost underscores strong consumer demand, it could widen the gap between supply and demand, potentially fueling inflationary pressures. The IMF stressed the importance of a coordinated macroeconomic policy approach to address these challenges. It urged fiscal and monetary authorities to complement each other, avoiding undue reliance on any single policy instrument. Should inflationary risks materialize, tighter fiscal and monetary policies may become necessary. The IMF also recommended expenditure rationalization across all levels of government to reduce aggregate demand and expedite the return of inflation to the target range. Despite these warnings, the likelihood of an RBA rate hike in 2025 remains low, according to Oliver. He noted that unless inflation unexpectedly accelerates, the RBA is more likely to maintain its current course. The central bank has long aimed to navigate the Australian economy on a narrow path to avoid a recession. However, downside risks persist, including weak household consumption and potential slowdowns among key trading partners. Australia's economic outlook remains delicate but hopeful. The IMF acknowledged growth challenges in the first half of the year, attributing them to soft real incomes and subdued private consumption. However, it predicts a gradual recovery supported by private demand and resilient public spending. The balance between these factors will be critical as Australia seeks to sustain economic growth while curbing inflation. As Australians prepare for the festive season and its associated spending spree, policymakers must remain vigilant. A misstep in fiscal or monetary strategy could derail efforts to achieve a stable economic recovery, with broader implications for inflation, employment, and overall growth. What are your thoughts on this incident? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this update informative, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more updates on stories that matter to you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.